Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we'll be, just like the thumbnail said, we'll be drafting the shirt collar. So to do that, first of all, you're going to fold your neck into two, and then you're going to get the measurement from the button placket all the way to the seam, not the allowance, just the seam on the neckline. If yours does not have a seam, so that's from the placket all the way to the center back, folded in half. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just measuring that out. So after measuring that out, I'm going to write that measurement down. So I'm just folding that so I know where that measurement is, and I'm going to write that down. So now on a blank paper, I'm going to draw a straight line. That's going to be your border line. And then on the side, you're going to make another horizontal line. So now on the horizontal line, you're going to measure that, starting from the vertical line, you're going to measure that the half of your neck measurement that you just got. You're going to measure that starting from the vertical line as your start line, and you're going to rule that up. Then after ruling that up, I'm going to use my marker just to make that more visible. That's what I'm just doing, using my marker so you can see what I did. That's my horizontal line, and then that's the measurement of my neck circumference, half of it. That's what I'm ruling up. That's what I got. So now I'm going to be calling the back line the center back, and then the other line the center front. So now on the center back line, I'm going to be marking 1 inch. After that 1 inch, from that 1 inch point, I'm going to be marking 1.5 inch, which is 1.1.5. And then from that 1.5 inch, I'm going to be marking 1.75 inches. Then on the center front line, I'm going to be marking 3/4 inches. On that 3/4 inch line upward, I will mark 1 inch for my stand, and then up on that I'm going to mark another 3 inches. So now I'm going to be getting the half of this half measurement. I'll fold my tape into two, and I'll just mark that half measurement down. So I'm going to connect that one in that point on the center front, the first point, to that 1/2 inch line with a curve ruler. So that's what I'm just doing. And from that 1/2 inch point, I'm going to extend 1 inch for my collar stand. If you want yours more than that, you can, but the standard measurement is 1 inch. So from that 1 inch point, that point, new mark, I'm going to connect it to my center back, to the first line on my center back. And then I'm going to complete that with my curve ruler to the second line on the center front. So guys, I know I'm saying first line and second line, but if you look at the video, you see what I'm saying. So after doing that, I'm just checking to be sure that my lines have not exceeded my original measurements through the curve. I noticed mine came out by about 1/4, so I'm marking that. Checking again the top line, I noticed again, and so I'm just going to connect those 2 points, and that's my new start line. So next thing I'm going to be doing, I'm just smoothing out the curve with a marker so you can see. So now I'm going to be checking the length of my button placket. Mine was about 1 inch and 1.25. So I'm going to mark that on my collar stand. Just mark that point and just leave that. And then I'm going to make a smooth curve in between the square, so that my collar stand is rounded and not squared. So that's what I'm just making. So I'm going to show you guys with my marker so you see what it looks like. This curve has nothing to do with the 1.25 inch mark I made. It's different, so I'm just making that curve. So next thing, back on that my center line, I'm going to be extending the center line upward again by another, just extending the center line upward by the exact measurement on the center back. So that's what I'm connecting those 2 points to meet each other. I think that measurement was about 1.5. So I'm going to get the distance. Now I'm getting the distance of the curve at the bottom from my center point to my 1 inch mark. Center point to 1 inch mark. So I'm marking that exact measurement on my curve ruler. Center measurement to 1 inch point. So I'm marking that measurement on my curve ruler. Exactly where the 2 points meet. I'm just marking it on my curve ruler. So now I'm going to take that curve ruler with the mark exactly the way the curve is from the 1 point. I'm going to take those exact points and fit it on that my new top line to the 1.5 inch mark on the collar stand. I hope that makes sense. So I just flipped the curve. That's what I did. The curve from the under, I took it on top to complete that top line. So just do yours like that. Now on that 1 inch, that my new, where those 2 points meet, I'm going to be extending a 2.5 inch to touch the center front. So that's my collar length. If you want yours 3, 4, this is at this point that you do it. Just that measurement, extend it on your ruler and make sure it's touching the center front line and you rule it. I'm sorry my camera went out of focus, but I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. The next thing I'm going to be doing, I'm extending that middle line all the way to the top again. I'm taking the exact measurement of the back and I'm extending that again in that middle line. So I'm just marking that. Remember, the exact measurement of the second line and the third line on the back is what I'm extending in the middle. So I'm just connecting those 2 lines. Now I'm going to use a curve ruler to connect that from that point to my 2.5 inch on my center front. So I'm going to pull that now so you can see what I'm saying. You see, I've completed my collar stand, my collar and my collar stand. I'm just using my marker to show you guys what I did. So I'm indicating this is my collar stand and this is my collar. So now I'm just trimming everything out. So now I'm going to cut 2 pieces of each of this. 2 pieces of each of this. So I'm just showing you guys how that it fits, it laps. If you do your curve exactly the way I did mine, it will lap too. So now I'm cutting my collar stand. I've cut the first piece and I'm placing it on top of the fabric again so I can cut a second piece. So I'm just pinning that down. I have 1/2 inch allowance all around. Just pinning that down. I'm cutting the center back on a fold. On a fold, guys. Please remember to cut yours on a fold. There's no allowance on the center back. And then I'm going to just trim all that out. So that's my collar stand. I'm replicating the exact same thing for my collar. Cutting 2 pieces of it, having 1/2 inch allowance all around. So I'm just placing it again so I can duplicate it. Remember to place your center back on a fold. On a fold, guys, it doesn't have a seam at the side. At the center, rather. So I'm just securing that with a pin and I'm going to just cut all around. So now I'm going to take 1 piece from each of the center front, the collar and the collar stand. And then I'm going to be ironing hairstay onto the 2 pieces that I just removed. So guys, I'm done ironing my hairstay onto each of the pieces. I'm just taking out my paper from the final pieces, and then I'm opening the collar up. So I'm using the one without the interface to cover the one with interface, right sides facing each other. Then I'm going to sew it all around, just like the way I'm using my fingers to demonstrate. I'm going to sew those points, leaving the bottom. I will sew the top and the sides. So I'm going to do that and come back and show you guys what it looks like. So guys, I'm done sewing that, and I'm just trimming out all the allowance all around so it's not bulky when I flip it over. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just cutting out all the allowance, trying to get as close to the seam as possible. After doing that, I'm going to flip this inside out. This is why I said don't sew the bottom, just the top and the sides. So now I'm flipping that inside out. After flipping that, I'm going to go and iron that so it lays flat. So guys, I'm done ironing that. I'm just showing you guys what it looks like. So next thing I'm going to be doing, I fold my collar stand into two, the part without the hairstay, and I make a mark the center of it. Then I'll take my collar, place it in between that, right sides facing each other. Guys, if you want, I prefer the part without the hairstay to be the front of my collar. So what I do is I fit the part with the collar hairstay to the part without the hairstay. Do you see what I'm showing you? So that way the part without the hairstay will be the front, and then the part with the hairstay will be the back. So I'm sandwiching that in between, center to center, middle to middle, and I'm pinning all the way around. So guys, before I go and sew, I'm just going to pin all around first of all. Before I sew, guys, please pay attention to this. I'm going to fold the top of one of my collar stand halfway. The part with the hairstay, I'm folding it halfway. So I'm going to iron that down so it lays flat. So now I'm going to sew all around, excluding the bottom. So I'm sewing the sides and the top. So now I'm done sewing that, and I'm just showing you guys what it looks like. This is what I meant. So you won't sew the part that the collar is coming out from. You sew just the sides and the top. So I'm just trimming out the excess, and now I'm flipping that inside out. So this is why I said don't sew where the collar is coming out from, so you can have room to flip it out, and that's where you attach to your main dress. So now I flip that out. I'm going to go and iron that so it lays flat, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. So now I'm done ironing that. You can see it's laying down flat. Our collar is almost ready. So now I'm going to be attaching this to the main outfit. So I'm going to be opening up the neck. I'm going to be taking the collar, the side that is not folded in half. I'm going to be attaching that to the collar. Starting from the bottom placket, I'll pin that down. And then I'll pin all the way to the other end of the bottom placket. So now I'm done pinning that down. I'm going to go and sew away my 1/2 inch allowance. Sew that from one end to the other end. And I'll come back and show you guys what it looks like. So guys, I'm done sewing it. You can see how it's looking. So now I'm going to cover that up with the 1/2 inch that I folded in, that I've ironed down. I'm going to cover that up. You see what I'm doing? Making sure that it's secured inside, and I'll flip that over. So I'm just securing it with a pin. I'm going to turn that around, and I'm going to sew a top stitch from the front so that I can secure the back. So guys, I'm going to go and do that and come back and show you guys what it looks like. So guys, I'm done sewing it. You can see the seam is only visible at the back. It's not visible from the front. And with that, your collar is ready. Guys, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. So at this point, you can just iron your collar and it's ready.